What is up with Nolensville, Tennessee? If you've been doing your research in Williamson County, chances are you've come across Nolensville in your research. So we're gonna be diving into what do you need to know about Nolensville in today's video. Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Martin. I am a local Nashville real estate agent. I specialize with helping out-of-staters relocate to the Middle Tennessee area. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Please feel free to subscribe down below and you'll be notified anytime I release new video content about all things moving, living, and selling in the Middle Tennessee area. Okay, so today's video, we're talking about Nolensville. Like I said, chances are you've come across it in your research if you've been looking in the Williamson County area. So let's go ahead and dive on in about what you need to know. Nolensville, let's first talk about the location. Nolensville is located a little southeast of downtown Nashville. So if you're looking at a map and you look straight down from Nashville, you're gonna find Interstate 65 that comes straight south. And then if you're gonna look a little bit to the east, you'll see actually Interstate 24 that comes down. So if you're looking at it, it's almost like between the two interstates, you've almost got this like pizza shape. Nolensville is located smack dab in the middle of it almost. So Nolensville, like I said, it is still within Williamson County. And so one of the biggest draws to the area, because Nolensville has actually seen explosive growth. Actually, between 2011 and 2016, Nolensville was the fastest growing area inside of Williamson County. So why is that? Well, Nolensville had such a draw to it because it was located within the Williamson County School District, but you could get housing that was more affordable versus Franklin or Brentwood. So that was one of the big draws to the Nolensville area. And so it has seen explosive growth. There are a ton of new neighborhoods. There is still new construction happening in Nolensville. So if you're interested in new construction, that is one area that I would really suggest taking a look at. But the demand has been there for Nolensville. A lot of people are looking to land there. And so they wanted to land there because, you know, they wanted to still be within Williamson County and have the benefits of being a part of the Williamson County School District, but they also could find more affordable housing. Now, I say that, let's talk about what's happened with home prices in Nolensville. So between 2016 and 2019, because of all the growth, the average home price in Nolensville actually jumped 100 grand. So that is just something to keep in mind. So while it used to be where you could gravitate towards Nolensville to really get that more affordable housing versus the Franklin and Brentwood areas, now you're really starting to get on par with Franklin and Brentwood. But, you know, that's just something to kind of keep in mind. It's just that demand has driven up home prices. So if you're looking at Nolensville versus maybe Franklin or Brentwood, what is the feel of Nolensville? So like I've mentioned in a lot of previous videos, Franklin is gonna have that really cute pre-Civil War architecture, charming, looks like you stepped into a Hallmark movie downtown feel. Now, if you look at Nolensville, it doesn't have a true downtown square per se like you'll find in Franklin, but it does have a quote unquote downtown area. But that is going to be a much more antique, farm feel, very rural feel to it. So if you've ever been to Leaper's Fork, think of that when you think of Nolensville, right? So it's gonna have more of that rustic farm feel versus like that cute, charming brick pre-Civil War era of Franklin. So those are a couple of things just to think about. Another thing about Nolensville, because it has seen the explosive growth, one thing that I have heard over and over again is just the fact that you don't have as much variety when it comes to things like local restaurants, right? So Franklin, Brentwood, they're more established versus the Nolensville area. So they're gonna have more of those, unique local restaurants, of course, chain restaurants as well. Whereas in Nolansville, that is currently being built out now. Now, there's a lot more local restaurants now than there were 5 years ago, and they're actually working on expanding this area called Burkett Commons. It's going to be, well, it's already partly in. It's a mixed use development, so it's going to have retail, office, housing, restaurant, all within it. And part of the reason for that is to be able to give the residents of Nolansville easy, convenient access to things like shopping, food, offices, because the thing is, if you're looking for office space, it's harder to come by in Franklin and Brentwood versus Nolansville. And so they're really working on building out those amenities. You know, in Nolansville, it's not like you're out in the boonies. You're not going to be traveling, you know, 20, 30 minutes to a grocery store. They have plenty of grocery stores there. It's just, they are really working on expanding the variety and the options for the residents right now. And the building is in process. Part of Burkett Commons is already up and running in place, and they only continue to develop it more. So those are just some things to kind of keep in mind. Nolansville is very much still up and coming and what it is that they offer and what's available versus, you know, other places like Brentwood and Franklin that are more established. Now, here's another thing to know about Nolansville because of its location. Another, you know, if you are like me, I like quick, easy access to things like the interstate. I don't want to have to drive 10 plus minutes to get to the interstate. I want to be able to jump on and go and try to get where I'm going. In Nolansville, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to any interstate that you're looking for, right? So around the Nolansville area, you will be able to get to access I-24. Then there's also I-65 that runs right, you know, north and south from Nashville. And then there's 840 that runs along the bottom of the Middle Tennessee area. So if you are looking to get to either of those, it will take you a little bit longer to get to them. But at the same time, Nolansville has this really great central location, which is also a part of the draw of Nolansville. So if you want to get to Franklin, it's only going to take you about 20 minutes or so, depending on where you're trying to go in Franklin. If you're trying to get to Brentwood, it's about the same amount of time. And then if you want to get into downtown Nashville, it's about 30 minutes. If you want to get to a place like Murfreesboro, again, you're looking at 30 minutes. So you really kind of have this central location where if you're trying to get to any of these places, it's not going to be like, oh, this is a real short trip, and then, oh no, you've got to drive 45 plus minutes to get over here. You've got this really great location where you kind of have this great radius of really similar, you know, driving distance time to get to these places. So it's got this great central location. The only downside of that, if you're like me and you want that convenience, is the fact that it might take you 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes to get to the interstate, depending on where you are located in town. Another thing to note about Nolansville, so its fire departments are volunteer fire departments. So because of that, in 2004, an ordinance was passed that required any commercial or residential new construction, they had to have sprinkler systems installed in the homes. So that shouldn't cause alarm. It is standard. The volunteer fire department will still respond for emergencies, medical transportation, hazmat services. It's just those sprinkler systems are there to help supplement the volunteer fire department. And again, most people, when they walk into a home, they may not know that. They may not even pick up on the sprinkler system, but it is just something, if you are looking at housing, I like to point out just so that people are aware of that on the front end versus the back end. Kind of similar to Franklin, Nolansville also has its own really great farmers market, which is something that brings a lot of people in town out to on the weekends when it's good weather. So, you know, you do have a lot of the benefits of being in a place like Franklin or like Brentwood in Nolansville. And so again, that is part of the draw to the area. Now, if you're looking in terms of, you're wondering maybe what it looks like I mentioned, the downtown area, you're gonna have that real rustic, rural feel to the downtown area. Nolansville still has a lot of land that hasn't been developed. So if you're driving actually one of the main roads that you can take, it's Clovercroft Road and it runs through Nolansville if you're headed towards, say, Franklin. You're going to be driving through some rolling hills. Nolansville has these beautiful, like stunning rolling hills. But you're going to notice like these beautiful views. Personally, I find it really peaceful every time I drive on it. But you're just going to get a little bit more of that secluded small town feel. In Nolansville, you're going to have these really beautiful farmland. You're gonna have these beautiful rolling hills. And like I said, there's still development happening in Nolansville, but you do get that small town feel while still having a good, central location with close proximity to those, everyday needs that you may have. All right, I've covered all things Nolansville. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have more specific questions about Nolansville, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. You can also grab my Nashville relocation guide down below. All you gotta do is just click the link. And if there's ever any video content that you are looking for that I have not covered, please do not hesitate to send me an email. I am wanting to be the best resource I can be for you. So please, if you have a specific video idea, please feel free to shoot it my way and I will do my best to get it done. I'm 𝐋𝐈𝐊 Martin. I'll see you next time.